Welcome to HXP TV. I traded out one ugly host and got a different one. What's up, Chris?
What did your hat say? What does it say?
My hat says Frostex. That's the legendary Dustin Machado's company when I hunt in East Texas. You guys remember the Groveton Express? That's the episode I did with Dustin. That guy is awesome. Danny Butts, a legend, the pig wizard himself. Yeah, so that's his company, and I like to rep it.
I got you. All right.
So, yeah, actually, there may be some pig hunting in my near future, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Stay tuned to HXP
for sure.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, this episode today, it's going to be about something we've wanted to recap for a minute, and life just keep happening, but it's a perfect opportunity for HXP TV. Me, this crazy guy, and Ed Barnes and Tanner and some of their buddies went up to the Gila, and we had ourselves a Bearapalooza. It was a great time, and not your first time in New Mexico treeing bears, but I thought we had a good time.
First time in the Gila.
Yeah, true.
The Gila's beautiful, man. It's awesome.
It was a great time. Yeah, it's in my stomping grounds. I've actually hunted those woods quite a bit in my younger years, and it was my first time bear hunting in there as well. So it was pretty cool.
You would have known your way around a little better.
It's a big forest. It's a big forest.
What was it, 4 million acres?
Yeah, I think it's like 3.9, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't want to round up. Let's be exact. Do you know the exact acreage, Seth?
Not quite, but yeah, it's with the surrounding BLM, it's pretty monstrous. Yeah, and so we were in some of my favorite areas there. And that's my first. It was kind of poetic to see my first treed bear in New Mexico with the Houndsman XP crew. Honestly, I thought that was very special, truly. So
it was a good time.
How many bears do you think you've treed in your life?
I don't know. I really
100?
don't. I mean, I've had seasons. I mean, I average about 30 some bears a season, I guess.
You know, with the dogs you were running, I can see why.
They're not good. That's the bad part, is they're not good.
One of them is.
There's a couple in there that are pretty good, but they're okay. They're just trashy Bayou Cajun plots, so they'll run.
I'm not buttering up this guy, everyone, because he's the boss. I'm saying it because it's true. We let out 3 dogs and we treat 2 bears in 2 days, and I was impressed. And really, one of those dogs was doing the heavy lifting, I thought.
Yeah, Cajun's the anchor of the whole thing, but Diablo and Indy can make some stuff happen too. It's kind of weird how it all works out, because when a dog has a weakness, then another dog steps up, and so even Tough on one of those trees ran the whole race.
He did. That was my favorite day. Yep.
Yeah, and we'll get into that here in a minute. So, but I've seen Tough, my Yog. There's been times when there's been track loss and everything seems to be breaking down. You're sitting there looking at the Garmin screen, and he's looping out, and before you know it, they're back on track. So they all have a role, and they all seem to fake it or make it, or they fake it till they make it, I guess.
Yeah, and Chris loves his Yog, everybody. He's becoming one of those guys.
I don't love him any more than the rest of them. He's just easier to get on camera.
Pocket size.
Yeah.
Why don't you break down the hunt for us? You guys had an action-packed trip before I got there, but let's focus on the stuff that we got the clips for. I think that was day 2 of your trip, day 1 of mine.
Well, what do you mean? You want the before you got there stuff?
Nah, we don't got time for that. Let's start with when I got there, when the real fun started. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no doubt. It was a party when you got there, Seth. There's no doubt about that.
Everybody was sleeping around the campfire when I got there. I was like, hey, I thought we were here to party. What's going on?
We all drove for we got to tell this part. I mean, we came from, 20 some hours away from all directions to converge on this spot. And so when you got there, we were all trashed. We'd been up early hunting and stuff like that. So Uh, no, I think the first day that you got there, we jumped in the buggies because we were kind of hampered on transportation. We're restricted to my truck and my Tundra. And when you brought your buggy in, then we could split up and get back into some of these trails and stuff. And that's what we did. It was um, did the first day you were there, what video are you going to play first here?
Yeah, so everyone, I'm just going to splice in these clips as we're talking about them. They'll just air right in as we're talking, so that you guys can get a visual representation of the story as we tell it. I'm going to try something a little different for HXP TV this time. First of all, do you remember the name of my buggy, dude?
It's probably something with Jackrabbit, Jackoffs or something. I don't remember.
Air Force One.
Hell yeah. Air Force One, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Which got converted to Bear Force One while we were there.
I knew it had to do something with Jackrabbit. So the day you got there, we hit a side trail and went out through this burn scar, and it was still early, and we were trying to rig. And the first video that you're going to show is going to show some dogs up in the oak brush and stuff trailing, and that was tough. And a young blue tick male that I have with me, and I'm pretty sure they were trashing on rabbits. So that's why that never panned out from up there. And it was kind of a circus. So it started with Diablo being in love with a female that I have with me, and female dog that I have with me, and we ended up dumping her butt back at camp and coming back out and trying it again.
Yesterday it came out first day. It did come out from the Diablo dog yesterday.
Yep.
So that's the first video.
Okay, first of all, I got a little triggered there. There's no such thing as trashing on rabbits. How dare you? Okay.
They were trashing. I was shocked the piss out of a dog for running a rabbit.
Yeah. That's where you've gone wrong in life. You know, I got to say, from a novice bear hunter, when they started opening up, I just got pumped. I thought for sure we were getting it going.
You're always hopeful. You're always like, oh, shit. You know, you hear the dogs up there in the brush, and you're like, oh, you know, you start getting all crazy and thinking this could pan out. And then you realize, okay, so the older dog isn't opening, and he's standing down here in the road, and these two younger dogs are up there barking around, including a Yog Terrier. And you're just like, yeah, is it this and what we're looking for?
Yeah. Yep. It was cool. Every time we went down into one of those cuts where the erosion brings water down from the top of the mountains, the dogs would get kind of excited, and you could feel that temperature drop in there. And that's kind of where some of them were getting kind of excited. But so what happened? We went around the mountaintops. We rigged all that stuff, and it just didn't pan out, right?
Right. And I think we did rig some bears because like you said, when you go through those low depressions and you hit those thermal changes and stuff, we have no way of knowing how far scent rafts from a bear can actually travel. And we were there early in the morning, but the sun wasn't hitting it, so the thermals really weren't coming up. We could feel it. I mean, without getting the wind checkers out, we could feel the thermals coming off the mountain from the top down. And I really think that there were some bears up in there, and we just weren't making a wide enough loop. The dogs weren't making a wide enough loop, casting out to really pick it up. And it was so thick that we couldn't get them up there. We could have, but then we'd have burned up a whole day. So we were trying to put miles in and distance in and get that good rig strike where we get on a bear.
We decided to head on down into some low country and split up. And what happened? Me and you went one way. Ed and Tanner went another way. Where did we take the dogs? I couldn't remember if it was above or below on that bear.
When we started the bear that we treated, then Tanner and I dove off and walked walk that drain out. I actually walked through the bear's bed, and as soon as we got down in that bottom, and this was before the clip with me sitting there on the log, we were walking through this thick, nasty stuff and got to the bottom there, and I found a pile of bear scat, and then I found the bear's bed, and everything was fresh, and then boom, right after that there was a strike, and Cajun and Indy took that bear, and Tough took that bear on out and crossed up and over, and that's where we lost all hearing on them. I lost GPS on them. We walked on down through, then we met you down on the bottom.
That's right. Yep.
And
so
you
when we
guys
met
were
everyone
coming up-
down,
Yep.
everyone was just kind of hanging out, and here's the clip of Chris on the log.
They're kind of bogged down. Not bogged down, but they're not coming back down. They're not coming down anymore.
Got ourselves a bear race. Working through this bottom. It's very berry in here. Indeed, the land of enchantment. And then Tough. There's that little psycho man. There he is. So I was sitting there filming. I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity, because you were just sitting there looking at your GPS and Tough's running around. Yeah, mesmerized. And well, they got him treed while we were hanging out down there, right? Or no? Yeah, that's right. Yes.
What we decided to do was Tanner and Ed and Cody were going to walk on through, and then we wanted to take buggies back up on top.
That's right.
Because according to where I lost signal on them, then where I lost signal, I think we all walked out.
Yeah, we did.
We all walked out together because Ed jumped on my buggy, and
That's
then when
right.
we came back up above that burn scar, I'm looking at the GPS on the dash of the buggy, and Ed's looking at his GPS. As soon as I got to where I got signal, man, it was popped up. Cajun was treed, Indy was treed, and then it got a little more exciting, and we got up there and walked on in, and it was a beautiful setup. Good boar bear in a tree.
And a
You can
big
see it
old
well.
ponderosa. I mean, just
Yeah.
classic tree. Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to talk Ed out of shooting it, just because it was going to be a pack out, and I was being lazy, so I was trying to tell him it was a small bear. But seriously, I really did misjudge it. I misjudged the size of that bear. As soon as he started moving around,
I'll be honest, I
was
did
like,
too.
holy smoke, that's a good bear.
It was a good bear. It did.
Yeah.
I think it's just the size of those ponderosas give you a weird perspective shift, because it was a huge tree, and you guys will see those ponderosas are just massive around. So yeah, I think it kind of just like swallowed the bear up in perspective against the sky like that. Because I agree, I didn't think it was a huge bear, and then when it fell out of the tree, I was like, dang, that is actually a really good bear.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there wasn't any ground shrinkage on that bear.
Yeah.
He actually grew a little bit, and I knew he was a good one, before Ed decided to take him. It was just one of those deals where it's like, okay, if we shoot this bear, we're going to be here the rest. We're done for the day.
Yep.
So do we try to tree another one? But, that's what they came for. And
I'm glad
that's what we delivered.
Yeah.
That's what we delivered. Me too. I can't wait until they get the skulls back. Because Tanner had killed a bear, and the skull with a heck of a skull. I'm really anxious to see what those skulls measure.
Probably just thinking about walking back out, packing out, and being a puss.
Yes. They're Southern New Mexico. Woo! Bear in the air. Ed Barnes, Tuskers now bear.
100%. Houndsman XP. Tree in southern New Mexico bears.
It's up to you, man. I mean,
It's a boar bear.
It's a boar bear.
He's not very big.
Not very big. He's 120 pounder. I mean, he's...
I remember talking to Ed about afterwards, and Ed's a pretty chill guy. He's pretty mellow. So it was cool to see him that excited, first of all. And I was too. That was awesome. I'm a pretty excitable guy. I remember how nice that walk in and walk out was. It was so clear and open. And it wasn't thick and ugly. And we just kind of scampered our way back up to the buggies and had ourselves a really nice evening down there. It was really fun. That was awesome. So you guys saw the clips from that. We can't show the shooting clip on YouTube, you guys. We have it, but we just can't show it here on YouTube. They'll pull us down. So that will be a different story. You guys know where that's all available. But yeah, we had ourselves an awesome evening. Now, I only had 2 reservations about that evening. 1, Ed's cooking was good, but Ed's food sanitation is undesirable.
Well,
I guess will be the word I'm going to use.
We're talking about a guy that cooks a pot of stew and puts it on the wood stove, and then and then just adds water to it and eats on it for a week and a half or 2 weeks. So
yeah, we had
Ed's got guts that he's got a whole bacteria thing going on in his guts that would kill the rest of us. So he can eat stuff that make a billy goat puke.
I get it adds to his mystique. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, guys. So, and also I do want to say this now. All Mixed Up coming up next, or it's coming up tomorrow after this episode airs. Is all about the long form of this trip. There's a lot more to break down, especially Chris's obsession with my bare feet about this episode. So we will talk about that a lot in the long form. But I want to get straight into day 2. I want to talk about that second day. That was my favorite day of bear hunting personally. I thought day 1 was cool. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad Ed was there, and I was glad I was a part of that. Day 2 was way more my style. So let's go right into it. I'm gonna have you break it down. You got the iron memory. I forgot all the details already.
Yeah. So that second day we were going back. We drove this ridge the very first day and tried to rig it, and actually the dogs caught a skunk out there, and somehow they did not get sprayed. I have no clue. I mean, just a faint whiff of skunk spray, but nothing major. And the young dogs and the terrier were leading the charge on that. And but anyway, we named that Cody's Ridge out through there, and that's where I took my Tundra. So the first day we drove out there, I drove all the way back to where we took the buggies, which is way farther than you ought to have a truck.
Yeah,
matter of fact,
that road is insane.
There's an old junk truck that's over the hill right there where somebody was just trashed the truck and they just left it.
Yeah.
And we're like, ugh. So I got turned around and I'm coming back out. On the way in, I thought, man, this is kind of dicey, but it's not too bad. On the way out, I was on the downhill side and I was like, oh crap, what am I doing driving back here? So when you got there, we took the buggies back Cody's Ridge there, and went back there, parked, free cast some dogs, and they went down through there, and boom, they struck it and just drove this track to the north. And probably it really didn't go that far. Probably, what was it? It's under 1,000.
Yeah,
1,000 yards.
It was probably half a mile. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, man, I thought we treated a lion. I thought they jumped a lion and boom, they've got him treated because it didn't run anywhere. And we're walking down through there and we're walking through some wicked country. And of course you're going through, I'm like, what's that, Seth? And you're like, That's a Septus monum muti wada wada. Give me the Latin names. I said blue agave is fine. I get that. Okay, I'm good with that name.
Yeah.
But you're giving me the scientific terms of every plant species between the truck and that bear tree.
Couldn't help
And
myself.
then we get to this. Then we get above this. We get on this side hill. We're side hilling down through there, and to our left is just a straight sheer drop off, probably 80 feet straight down. And I'm like, holy crap! I hope this tames out a little bit. And as we kept going, it did. It petered out, and as we're walking in there, we can hear everything treed.
Oh,
Tough
that was
treed.
the best part. That was the best
Everything was treed.
Blowing it up down there, son.
Around the corner right there. Looking at him. They gotta be looking at him.
I agree. Walking into the third tree. Big pig himself.
That's some tough. They got something in. Oh, they're looking in this tree right here. They're in this tree right here. The bear's got to be like.
There's Indy here. Oh, yeah. Something up here. I see Cajun looking up at this big tree right here. Yep.
You don't know, Andy.
I see the bear. Yep, I see the bear.
I think it's a bear. It could be a lion.
It's a bear. It's a bear. Yep. Wow. Good dog.
Pretty ass bear. Get right there.
Oh, it's got cubs. There's a cub above it.
There he is. See the cub?
Look at the little cub.
That's crazy.
This is why we hound hunt, boys. You can be selective. Aww.
Cub is going. What, dude?
was the dog you shot me on? Huh? That was the dog you shot me on, too.
And we just got in there, and boom, they had a bear. And we had a little debate there whether, when we first got there, because I was really, a lot of times when a bear goes up that quick, then they've got a lot of energy left, so you want to be cautious about how you approach a tree, because where we were at, we could have ended up, if that bear decided to bail, we could have ended up, another 6-7 miles in there. So I was looking at wind, and we were trying to judge our approach and figure everything out, and it turned out it was a sow with a cub.
Yep,
which was
that
cool.
was awesome. And here's the clips, you guys, of the approach and the bear. I remember I wasn't even looking at the bear. I was looking at the bear through my phone, and I was just zooming in, and I just saw that little head be like, look down, and I was like, oh, it's got a cub. Like in the video, you can hear me say that. And so that was so cool. And I got to say, and I'm going to go back in time slightly, but when you were like, let's get out and hunt these dogs, I was like, yes. Because like, I'm just not a rigger. I'm not. I know it's effective and it has its place, and I'm not talking smack about rig hunters. Just not for me. I want to get out. I want to hunt my dogs. And
every bear we treated was when we got out on the ground and hiked.
Hunted them. Yep. And we didn't even have to hike that far. It was a beautiful hike. And that's the nice thing about the Gila is like 85% of it is pretty open understory, where you're able to really enjoy the walk quite a bit. And the weather was really nice.
You don't ever want to go there. Nobody wants to hunt the Gila.
You better be ready to walk.
Horrible.
That's the thing I'm going to say, though, truthfully. And that country is like straight vertical. Those canyons are no joke out there, you guys. And the roads are brutal. So if you don't mind tearing up your rig, Air Force One's a piece of crap. I don't really mind destroying it. That's what it's for. But it is a lot of walking, and we were hunting right on the edge of the wilderness. And if they go in there, get your boots on, because that's
you bet.
Tens of thousands of acres of no vehicle roads at all. So the hardest of the hard hunt there, usually on horses and mules. So
that was what I was worried about. That's why I was cautious about going into that last tree. I was like, man, we do not want to blow that bear out here.
Yeah. The wilderness was only about a mile away. So, yeah.
I really think that if she hadn't had a cub with her, if that would have been a young boar or something like that, he would have no farther than he ran. He had plenty of gas in the tank. He would have skinned down that tree and boom, been gone. And we'd have been trying to figure out how we were going to get dogs back at dark. And this was 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
That was an incredible end to the hunt. I enjoyed that so much. We were all pretty beat after that, and I had to get back. But, man, that was super fun. Chris, first of all, I'm going to thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me along. And thanks for, sharing all your wisdom and coming down and hunting my neck of the woods is really fun. And joining me on HXP TV.
It doesn't take long for me to share my wisdom. So.
And all your smiles. He's nothing but smiles.
That's right. Always. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Oh, Chris Powell. They call it the Powell scowl for a reason.
You should get that
but
tattooed
you bring
right
the
here.
Smiles out, Seth.
There you go, man. Hey, that's all I'm good for. I'm good for talking and I guess running to trees barefoot. So, guys, check us out on the Patreon page. There's bonus content there, and there's going to be more stuff from this hunt there. Like and subscribe. That's how we can continue to produce HXP TV. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one was a little long because we had a lot more content to share. I didn't want to break it up into 2 trees. I wanted to go for all of it in one episode. Stay tuned, everyone. There's going to be the Houndsman XP crew getting together. Me and Chad again. I'm going to be running with Chris and Dustin and everybody soon for some wild hogs. There'll be some hare coursing. There'll be some coon smashing. So stay tuned, everybody. More awesome HXP videos on the way. And again, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all later. See ya.